This is just a short tutorial about use of this dashboard. When you open it to the first page, you're going to notice that the first page just has some directions about how to use. For those of you who are using it, you will want to probably enter the dates in these columns related to when you want people to submit pre-test scores, when you have actual data team meeting dates, and when post-test scores should be submitted. Along the bottom, the first tab that you're going to open is the one called August. You can see that right now it's empty. It's important that you start in August because the dashboard has formulas in it that will copy and paste all the things that you enter in these three columns: your name, the teacher, or the teacher name, the student name, and the supervisor name. Once you enter it into August, it will be copied automatically into all the other tabs. So after you've entered information into August, it will automatically populate these columns and you won't have to do it again. A couple of other things to note. Let me get back to August here. Up here are drop downs. When you enter, you're going to first choose transition. And then once you click over here, it should give you a list of all the transition indicators. And so just for the sake of whatever, I'm choosing this one to put in the blank. You can find the specific skills related to these indicators in the transition tab down here at the bottom. So if I click on that, you can open it and see all of the skills that students would have to have for each level of the rubric. So since I had chosen self-management problem-solving skills, I would then use this rubric to determine how all of my students fare, what their pretest is. And then I would go back to August, and I would enter it here in pre, where it says pre. If my student were a 2, I'd put a 2 in the blank. And you'll notice that when that happens, these columns are automatically formulated to show up in varying shades of red, yellow, and green, depending on where the student falls on the rubric. You'll also notice that once your whole team has put in all the scores, it will populate and create graphs for you related to what the average is for the whole group and how many students are in each of these rubric categories. This field is used to take notes during your data team meeting. Down here, there are sections for you to enter what strategies you might be using. So for those kids who are scoring either a 0 or 1, what strategy will you be using to help them move up, and what's the description of that strategy? Same thing for those kids who are scoring a 2 or who are in the yellow section. Once you and the team have developed the strategies, you'll notice that they're numbered. So if I had a kiddo, let me go back here and put a 1 in. If I had a kiddo in the 1 and I wanted to use strategy number 1, after I have decided that at the meeting, I would go in and just enter that 1 so that everybody's familiar with which strategy is being used. Your team will then develop a plan or a SMART goal for by the next meeting. What are you going to do? What do you want kids to know and be able to do differently that will move them up on the scale here? And then these, actually skip the pink columns and you'll go to the meeting plus delta. What are some things you did well? What are some opportunities for improvement and what you might want to do differently next time? When you come back at the end of your cycle, you'll end up coming here first. You'll look at your post data because everyone will have entered it. You can go up here and look at your graphs after the post is entered. Let me see here. If I put in a 1, you're going to see what the post average is. You'll determine if you and your team met your goal or not. And then you're going to plus delta the strategies. So if we used strategy number 1, we're going to go down and plus delta. How did that work? What were some opportunities for improvement and what we would do differently? Then you would move to the next column, or the next tab, sorry. And actually, let me take these out of here. They shouldn't be there. And you would go in and work on your pre for this skill. Maybe your team is selecting a different target. If you have questions or you need help, you can certainly text or email me. My email address is on the first page of the dashboard.